Okay, we're officially getting underway here now, and one of the things we'll start with is letting you know that the tools and all the information that is on ICI World, which is a world service, and we're going to be explaining that and properly introduce ourselves here momentarily, is available on the Android. If you want to make a note of that on your Androids, if you have an Android, you go to the Play Store and you search ICI World, and you'll be able to bring up 30,000 listings. 75% of them are exclusive information in this particular area, and you'll be able to bring them up on your Android. If you're using a BlackBerry, use the iciworld.mobi. You can mark that down. And on your iPhone, you just simply go to the App Store and search ICI World. And when you do that, we call it information at your fingertips. And it provides instant access to databases, the haves and wants from your smartphone. Okay. Now, here we go. So today's session, Mastering the Powers of the Internet. It's for licensed real estate brokers and salespeople. You can consider this a workshop for yourselves personally. We specialize in helping. We have 1,000 members approximately, and we help members one-on-one take advantage of the Internet. If you do have cell phone, in fact, I do have to turn mine off too, so I'm going to just kind of lower the sound on it. Right down to vibrate. There we go. You may wish to do the same. Thank you. Okay, I'd like to introduce Gary. Gary, if you could stand up and just tell us something about yourself. Gary's been an area instructor. He's been a broker for 40 years. He's been teaching. A broker, just sold a nice home last night for almost $1 million. Tell us a little bit about yourself. He's a mentor. He's a coach. Go ahead, Gary.
I think he's already said it. What more can I add?
I didn't mention GFOE.
Oh, he didn't. That's right. Well, we have a little bit of fun with this. I am a registered real estate broker, like many of you in the room. And some of you have been in my classes here in Brampton. Wayne, I know quite well. And some of you maybe in Mississauga. I am a director of the Mississauga board, and I teach down there quite a lot too. And so great to be with you here this morning. You may be wondering about the last designation on my name here. Gary calls himself a CCIM, which stands for?
Certified Commercial Investment Member.
Right, exactly. Very important group of realtors that Gary may elaborate on just a little bit later on. But I'm a grandfather of 8. Okay. Oh my God. So I kind of match his designation at least. So Gary?
Okay. A little bit about myself as well. I've been in real estate business as a broker for 40 years, and back in 1994 I chose to specialize in helping salespeople like yourself take advantage of the Internet, to building a service where to help you connect with exclusive information, not just MLS information. I've served on MLS committees, but there's a lot of information that's not on real estate boards, and as a matter of fact, I'm very excited about this, that I see as much as 10 times the available information in the marketplace is what you can actually work on a real estate board, and we'll kind of go through that. How many listings, does anybody here have any more than 5 listings on a real estate board? Anyone here? Okay, roughly how many might you have of an MLS nature?
6.
Okay, 6 listings. And so the average in North America is between 0 and 5 listings on a real estate board. But with information, I'm going to be showing you here today how you can actually get yourselves up to 15 opportunities. And if you think of a real estate board and the power of a real estate board to put your information on the Internet, where there's 5 billion people, we are able to do the same thing with ICI World with your information, and we're suggesting that there's a way for you to get up to at least 15 or more opportunities in this marketplace, and we're going to be showing you how to work that exclusive and open type information in a way that's compatible with the industry, in a way that follows the guidelines of RICO, and we'll be going over those things here momentarily. And so I've really enjoyed over the years helping real estate salespeople succeed, and it's been these successes of the individual members such as yourself on our service that's inspired me to keep spreading the word of how it's working for everyone when you take advantage of the tools of the Internet. And so let's move on. Also, when you have a chance, you can mark it down. Please do connect with us on LinkedIn and like on Facebook to keep us connected. Make a note that you should go to Twitter and do our follow on Twitter. We put out various tips and tricks and ideas and concepts and news and events. All those kinds of things are on Twitter. And if you don't have LinkedIn, we definitely recommend that that's the first thing you should get, whether you have it or not. Get LinkedIn. This is like your business card on the internet. It's your credentials. And when you have 200,000 real estate people moving into an area, and sometimes they want to look up who you are to see that you're a credible person, this is where you place your credentials in LinkedIn. The fact that you belong to the Canadian Real Estate Association or the National Association of Realtors, the Ontario Real Estate Association, the Toronto Real Estate Board, other organizations and things that you work with, put them all in LinkedIn so people can see that you're a competent professional in the business and can look after them in an ethical manner, which is not the case in many other countries of the world. Do not take it for granted. We have something very special going on here with organized real estate that other countries are not enjoying, and someday, hopefully, they will. Okay, let's move on. YouTube, the same thing. Subscribe to YouTube. We even have a newspaper online. You can subscribe to the newspaper. You can also subscribe to receive listings, absolutely free, and that'll help you get connected into what's happening here. The member testimonials, one of the things we printed out here today, and I'd like you all to pull it out right now. It's on the right-hand side of your document, and you're going to see about 20 pages, double-sided, full of testimonials. And you really should take 2 minutes now and start to go through these testimonials, because how do you know one service from another, whether the service is helping people connect, or is it just, a new service starting up that hasn't had the track record? Well, when you read through these testimonials, you'll see that virtually every single member can actually make connections to do business as long as you do what we call the minimum level of quality of use of the service. We think you should have 15 opportunities on here. You should log into your website once a month, keep it up to date, and you should have the widgets on your existing website. Those are just some of the basics. Once you put those in place, everything kind of works on automatic, and we'll kind of go over that a little bit in a time. Some of the people that are doing business with exclusive information, one of them was a lady named Doreen Francis, for instance. She's a residential salesperson. She saw somebody that was trying to sell space for a church. She called them up, asked them the 3 questions, which I'll go over in a moment. She got the information, put it on ICI World. She got several calls. One of them was from a member of a congregation. She ended up showing it. She made $54,000 with a piece of information, something she could not have done on the Toronto Real Estate Board. There's 40 pages of testimonials of people that are doing it. So it lets you know that because you are licensed in the province of Ontario, you are allowed to trade in information in real estate. People that are not licensed are not allowed to do this, but you can. We're going to cover how you can be working. It's very, very exciting because all of the FSBOs in the area, all of the private for sale signs, the brokers protected, all that kind of stuff, even people that have an intention to want to buy something, that's a piece of information. I would get excited about that. Let's move on. In real estate, one of the reasons why this, in my opinion, is one of the most exciting seminars for actually bearing down, feet on the ground, belly to belly, making money out here in the marketplace, is because one lead can make you a lot of money. Of all the industries that are on the internet, it is real estate that provides the highest return on investment, because one lead can make you thousands of dollars. And today, this session is about generating those kinds of leads from your website, from your information, and the concepts of learning how to get information in the marketplace and get it onto the internet where the 5 billion people have access to it through phones and mobile devices and computers and all this stuff. It's made it all easy. Now it's up to you, the salespeople, to take advantage of these tools by getting your information out there in the marketplace, and we're going to show you how others are doing it successfully and how you can also do it successfully yourself. When we say business in Ontario and around the world, you are a global realtor when you come on to ICI World. We're now calling ourselves worldrealestatenetwork.com. So we're moving from the general ICI to doing both residential and commercial. And you're going to see the natural over time that the worldrealestatenetwork.com takes on higher and higher profile. But the reason we keep ICIWorld.com is because it's the longest running name on the internet. It was literally registered in 1994. This is valuable for you. The reason is Google gives it a higher weight for people when they search things on the internet. And so when they find that, they find your information. So when you place your information on ICI World, it has a high likelihood of being found eventually somehow because of the fact that it was registered 20 years ago. So those are things that are in play that a lot of people don't know about, because Google uses what is called algorithms. Algorithms are mathematical calculations to determine whether websites should come up in the internet or not. And this benefits you directly, because if you have a piece of information and somebody calls you, bingo, it triggers a lead and you do a deal. Let's move on. So on ICI World, presently we have about 30,000 haves and wants there. Haves are the properties for sale and for lease. Wants are what buyers are looking for. Some people say, I don't have any listings. Well, on ICI World, you do. If you have 3 buyers or 5 buyers, you have 5 listings on ICI World. A buyer is a listing on ICI World. Now, the term listing, of course, we get from MLS, and so we'll keep the term MLS and listings separately. We're going to use the term postings and haves and wants for the information that's on our service. 75% of the listings, and you'll see them there on ICI World, are actually exclusive. They're not on real estate boards. They're not on any other service. They're unique to ICI World. The nice thing about it is that ICI World is made up of licensed real estate brokers and salespeople. We do not allow principals to join the service. Only licensed real estate brokers and salespeople can actually join the service. We also allow mortgage brokers to come on as well. The point is that it's a broker-centric service serving the public, and it directs business to licensed real estate people. We do both commercial and residential. Some people I know in the past thought we didn't do residential, and actually we did not. We started for a year of experimentation of allowing only listings up to $750,000 for residential, but we learned how to separate them out, the residential listings from the commercial. And because the majority of our members also do some commercial and residential, it's really taken off. And I'm going to be showing you the residential section in a moment as well, how you can be working the for sale by owners. You have a property coming for sale, could be in 1, 2, or 3 weeks. You can post coming for sale, $1 million property, Brampton, double car garage, that kind of thing, and you can put it on here. The key thing here, people, is not to place an address on any of these things, and I'll explain the reason for that in a moment. The for sale by owners in your area, you're going to see assignments. Is there anyone here that works assignments at all? You know what they are? Yes. Okay, they're basically properties that are being built, condo apartments that are maybe ready in 2-3 years. There's a way to network that kind of information as well. Be careful though, people, if the developer doesn't permit it, be careful on things like that. And of course, postings, which are the exclusive information. If somebody says, I'd like to buy a property, that's a piece of information that can be very valuable to you. If you post a want on the service and an owner of a property calls you and says, I notice you're looking for this and my property seems to fit the description, can you come over and give me an idea of the price of my property? That's one of the most refreshing kind of calls you get. And when it comes to higher priced properties, that's very important to place your want. Some of the largest transactions, I'm talking $75 million, have been started from a want. Very exciting. Let's move on. Now, there's 2 databases on our service. A lot of people haven't realized that there are 2, but there's the member database that when you post information as a member, the public can read your information. Your information is available on over 18,000 places on the internet. People can read it. They can pick up the phone, give you a call. You make your own arrangements for compensation, if any. You also qualify the people the way you would normally qualify people off a classified ad out of a newspaper. You qualify them and go from there. Database number 2, however, is a different database. That's where we allow the public to post information absolutely free. However, the only people that can read the contact information are the members. Okay? Now, this is good, passing the information through the hands of a licensed real estate broker or salesperson. I kind of believe that real estate salespeople provide a very important source of security for people that are buying and selling properties, because there's a lot of issues, people dealing directly with other people. There's mortgage fraud, there's title fraud, there's all kinds of fraud going on. There's people that are trying to take advantage of people, misrepresentation. But by dealing with a licensed real estate broker or salespeople, there should be an element of safety that the largest single sale in a person's life is being looked after by competent real estate salespeople. So the public can add their haves and their wants. And as a matter of fact, it was Doreen Francis who actually called somebody in database 2. The person had a church space for sale, $2.5 million. And she called them up, got the information, networked on database 1, and got a call and ended up selling it and making $54,000. So you can see that money could be made with information. And whether it's got an extra zero on it or not, that shouldn't bother you. It's still a piece of information. Now, if it comes to a property where maybe you don't feel competent or you're not competent to look after it, if you're selling an industrial warehouse or leasing or something, you can do a referral. Referrals are a big time through this service. And you'll see in a little while how one broker has done 15 referrals just referring out the leads that he gets. And the reason he gets the leads, you'll see that in a moment, the reason why as well. So how we help you is with 2 data streams. There's a complete commercial component, which includes everything in real estate: industrial, commercial, residential apartment buildings, businesses, land, recreational properties, senior lifestyle homes, gas stations, hotels, motels, all of that. And even though you are a licensed real estate practitioner, we're suggesting that you have these links on your residential website. And the reason is, if you get a lead on one of those, you simply do a referral. Would you like to do and make 15 referrals, average of 5 minutes each, and make $45,000 for 75 minutes of time? That's what referrals can do for you, as it has done for one RE/MAX agent in Peterborough who's actually done 15 of those. You can do it if you trigger the leads, and we're going to show you why and how to trigger those leads. Now, residential listings now includes condos, cottages, vacation properties, waterfront properties. All of those kinds of things are now on here, and those are called keywords. And you want to remember this term keywords, because when you have a property for sale, you want to make sure that you put the keywords in the subject line. The subject line is like a Twitter that goes out to the marketplace, and if you put those keywords in the subject line, people may be able to find you. One simple example is a person who has maybe a coffee shop for sale. Maybe it's a Tim Hortons for sale. If you don't put the word coffee in the keyword, somebody that looks up coffee will not find you unless you put the word coffee in the subject line. Think of the subject line as a world real estate Twitter. Just like Twitter has 140 characters maximum, this has 160 characters maximum, and you put the keywords in that subject line, and it'll show up in many, many different ways. It can show up when people search things. And so cottages, vacation properties, waterfront, if you have a boat, you know, and it's a cottage and you got a space for a boat, put the word boat in there, those kinds of things. You have a property with a view, make sure you say that. Let's move on. Now, the power of what's going on was formerly reserved for the Fortune 1000 companies, but we in this room now have this power of these Fortune 1000 companies. The ability to send out 60,000 emails on a regular basis is something we do on a regular basis now. To be able to have a monthly readership of 40,000 plus, and with our 20,000 emails that deliver information daily to the public, this is tremendous circulation in the marketplace for your listings, for every one of your listings all year long, included for just one membership investment, and which will, some you already know about it, we'll cover that later. But it's tremendous circulation in the marketplace, and we have a statistics online that you can go and check it out, and that's where these are all coming from. These figures is from the statistical analysis that's done online, that's available for you to read in the About column when you get to ICIWorld.com. Any questions so far? Okay, thank you. Let's move on. There's when you place information on ICI World, there's over 18,000 pages on the internet that display the information on a regular basis, and your information is placed on there instantly. When you place information on here, it actually appears on 1,000 other brokers' website instantly and automatically. It's tremendous exposure in the marketplace for your listings. It's not just placing your information on your own website. You can have that information placed on 1,000 other brokers' websites, plus on 18,000 pages on the internet, just by adding it once for 2 minutes. It's a 2-minute job to add a listing, and I hope we have time here today that we can add one of your listings as a member. If you can think of a have or a want that we can add today, we'll actually log in as one of you and go in and actually post it. It's instantly available in that sense. We can do that for residential and or for commercial. Now, there is an obligation and a responsibility on the part of each of you in this room, and in fact, on the part of the whole industry, to look after your information, to take responsibility and to update it. We recommend that you update your listings every 30 to 60 days, and in no event let your listings go longer than 90 days old. And that's because the majority of people work the top half of the database. They get so busy working the top half of the database, they don't have a chance to get down to the bottom. Secondly, when you place your information, it is instantly emailed out to the industry. If you don't update your information, it's not getting emailed out to all the new subscribers from the public that are receiving these things. We actually have one developer who's purchased 3 properties from the emails. He doesn't even visit the website. So if you haven't updated your listings for 6 months, and there's people here that haven't done it, I'm letting you know you're missing opportunities to maximize, sorry, you're missing out on maximizing your opportunities to make money. FSBOs are opportunities that you can be working in the marketplace, something you cannot do on a real estate board. Open listings, exclusive, expired listings, coming for sale, people that want to sell quietly. You know, if you have a business for sale, maybe you don't want all the employees and all your customers to know that it's for sale. It could actually be bad for business. So this is a perfect way to kind of be marketing that kind of properties through this service. Now, here's the key thing. And it's mastering these 3 questions, and I would write these 3 questions down. It can help you make a lot of money. And the reason is this becomes your inventory on the internet where there's 5 billion people. And if you ask these 3 questions, each one will be an opportunity for you to make money on the internet. So anyone that says, I'd like to sell my property, but I don't want to give you a listing, obviously, you're trying to get a listing in the first place. You're trying to get an MLS listing, but in a lot of cases, you can't get it, as we know. In those cases, you end up asking these 3 questions. Will you pay me a commission if I bring you in a buyer? You're not asking them to sign something now. You've already tried that, and they've said no. What you're saying is, well, tell you what, if I bring you in a buyer, would you pay me a commission? And then you negotiate it. Any problems with that question? No, that's what we all have to do to pay for our bills and keep in business. The second question is this. You ask them, once I have a buyer, will you give me a 48-hour exclusive listing to cover my showing? Once I have a buyer. So in other words, even though we have 75% of our 30,000 listings are exclusive, it does not mean that we don't put an agreement in place first before showing the property or before divulging an address of a property to someone. Now, some people will say, can I get a 24-hour? Of course, 5 days. Can I get an agreement to advertise? You can have lots of different kinds of agreements. If you go to the front, at the front of TREB on the right-hand side, they've got agreements when you walk into your TREB office on Don Mills. They've got exclusive agreements there. There's also exclusive agreements from your broker of record. I've already talked to him about it. There's a number of different exclusive agreements that you have here at this office that I would become familiar with those exclusive agreements. And so that when you have a buyer, the key thing is that you want to put something in writing first before divulging the address or before identifying the property. And we're going to talk about that because this becomes what we call confidential information much in the same way that lawyers have confidential information, doctors have confidential information, accountants have confidential information, and I'm going to show you now how important it is to maintain confidentiality when you do this. Any questions on this so far? According to RICO, which is the Real Estate Council of Ontario, which is the licensing body where we're speaking from in this particular webinar workshop that's being recorded, a registrant shall not include anything in an advertisement that could reasonably be used to identify specific real estate unless the owner of the real estate has consented in writing. So in other words, if you're going to advertise an address or identify the property, you must have something in writing. But if you don't identify the property, if you don't give an address to anybody, and you say something like this, I have a restaurant in Mississauga for $350,000 making money, have I identified that restaurant? The answer is no is correct. If I said I had a restaurant in Mississauga at Huron, Ontario and Dundas Street, making money, $350,000, have I identified that restaurant? The answer is incorrect. I have. I have identified it. I said it was at Huron, Ontario and Dundas Street.
Yeah, but there's lots of restaurants.
How many restaurants are there? There could be 1, 2, or 3. I have identified the restaurant to all intents and purposes. This is a workshop for you now to learn this. Okay? This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where you learn, as experts in the business, how to work information. And I'm glad that we've gone through this because you learn from these things here that we're talking about. If I say I have a $1 million home in Brampton, double car garage, family room facing south with sunshine and open concept kitchen, have I identified the property? If I said it was on the corner of such and such a street, have I identified the property? The answer is yes. If I said I had a $30 million shopping center in Brantford, have I identified the property? The answer is yes is correct, because there's only one. Got the idea? Especially with higher price things, higher price properties, that's where you really have to be careful. If you have a small town and you said that I have an Esso gas station in Caledon, have I identified the property? There's only one. You might have to advertise it like this by saying I have a branded gas station 30 minutes to Toronto. You got it? In other words, you have to be careful how you advertise your properties. If I say I have a resort with 20 slips on Pigeon Lake, have I identified the property?
Yes.
That's correct. So in other words, the difference between identifying and giving an address is very important for you to know. You want to be able to maintain confidentiality. Now, when you advertise this way, most owners will actually give you permission to advertise this way. And as long as you tell, and I'll tell you the truth, some of the owners would like you to give out the address. Why?
So you can go directly.
Then people can go direct. That's right. So you're going to find that some people will actually like to do that, but you tell them you're not going to do it. And then that way you're getting the calls. Now, when somebody calls you on the phone, what's the first thing they'll probably ask? Where is it? If you don't mind, I'd like to drive by the property with my family, and then if I like it, I'll give you a call back. Would you give them the address? No. You could make a statement something like this, and the first part of this statement is the key thing you can write down. You simply say, in this particular case, we have to put an agreement in place first. I'll repeat that so that you get it. Somebody calls you on the phone, they ask you for an address, you simply say, in this particular case, we have to put an agreement in place first. But if you like, come to my office on Saturday between 12 or 1, and I will make arrangements for you to see it. And then what are you going to do on the Friday?
to get the listing.
You go get the listing from the owner. Now I'm going to ask you all a question. How many open or exclusive opportunities do you think you could come up with in the next 90 days if you were realistically challenged to do so?
At least one.
There's two.
90 days?
Buying yourself. Oh, 90.
I'm giving you 90 days. How many could you come up with? I'm talking for sale by owners. How many of those can you identify? And maybe ask those 3 questions. If I went back to these 3 questions.
Hundreds.
Hundreds is actually the right answer. However, realistically, to get in a car and call them on the phone and to do it, how many could you realistically expect to ask over the next 90 days?
90.
Get excited. If you could do 90, you're about to make a lot of money. Now, where is he getting them from? Do you get the Toronto Star? Are there people trying to sell properties tonight in the Toronto Star? Could you go home tonight and ask each of those people in the Toronto Star trying to sell properties themselves privately, could you ask them those 3 questions on the screen? What's the worst they would say?
No.
And to be quite honest, they all have a problem. They want to sell their property. They want to get out of their property. They want to move someplace else. So why wouldn't they do that? They're going to be very skeptical. They're going to say, don't you want, like you probably want a listing. You want me to pay you something right now. You ask them those 3 questions. Will you pay me a commission if I bring you in a buyer, when I bring you in a buyer? Now, the advantage you have is that when you place information on ICI World, because it's an information service, it's on the internet where there's 5 billion people. It's on mobile devices. It's on 18,000 pages on the internet. And your information is also on 1,000 other brokers' websites instantly and automatically. That's 18,000 times better than what that individual person can try to do for themselves. Next question. What percentage of for sale by owners eventually list with real estate? How much? 80 some odd percent? 80, 90%, 75, 80, 90%? In other words, the majority of for sale by owners actually end up listing with real estate salespeople like yourself. Well, if you show a little activity by posting some ads on ICI World, getting a few clients, making an appointment, trying to sell it, who might they likely eventually, if they don't sell it, eventually list with? And that's what we're getting, stories from members. They're actually getting the listings eventually if they haven't sold it in the meantime because you've showed them activity in the meantime. So this gives you opportunity to use the power of the internet to network information in a way that triggers leads. Now, is there anyone here that feels they can't find 10 opportunities to ask these questions to in the next 3 months? You could search for sale by owners on the internet. How about Kijiji? Is anybody ever on Kijiji? Are they all for sale by owners? There's all kinds of them there. You could ask each of those people. So in other words, do you ever drive up and down the street and see a for sale by owner sign? Do you see things like propertyguys.com and ComFree? These are for sale by owners. So in other words, there's a lot of potential business. When you go and you're in a restaurant or you had a Subway sandwich, why not leave your business card with the owner of that business and say, by the way, I have over 200 restaurants on my website. If you're ever thinking of buying or selling, maybe you should give me a call. And he might say right away, as a matter of fact, if you bring me in a buyer for $300,000, I'll sell right now. He might tell you that right away. And if he said that right away, what would you ask him? Tell me out loud. What's the first? Would you ask him right away, would you pay me? He'll say, sure. Next question.
Will you give me 48-hour exclusivity? Will you give me 5-day exclusivity?
If you ask me, will I give you a 5-day exclusive listing right now? No. I'm making a distinction here. I'm being hard on them. Why? Read that question. Once I have a buyer.
Right.
Okay, well, we've had some cases where somebody had a problem with that question because they didn't add once I have a buyer. They're not used to doing that, right? So once you're absolutely right. Once you have a buyer, would you give me a 5-day or a 48-hour exclusive listing in order to show the property? And then what's the third question?
And they advertise the property without disclosing.
Yeah. So in other words, you're asking them for verbal permission. We think this is important because one day you're going to find a buyer for them. And they're going to say, how did you find that buyer? And if you did it without their permission, do you think that they would be upset? They didn't give you permission. Okay? All right. So doing that, yeah, you can end up triggering leads in doing it this way. Let's move on. Any questions on that? Working information in the marketplace that you cannot do on a real estate board. By the way, Gary, I'm suggesting that the Toronto Real Estate Board make space someplace in the Toronto Real Estate Board for us to operate and offer these services to all members. Wouldn't that be nice? Do you think that would be a good idea? I'm just asking. Okay, I'm getting affirmative responses here. Okay, let's move on. Now, how else does ICI World help you besides networking information? We're going to talk about something called widgets. Widgets are the haves and wants of members. Would it be nice to have all of these listings on your website? The concept is this. If you have one listing on your website, or you have thousands of listings on your website, which website is more likely to trigger a lead for you? The one with one listing or the one with thousands of listings? The one with thousands of listings. So real estate widgets are listings, thousands of listings. All you have to do is email the instructions to your website designers. What's the name of your website company? Just throw me out a name. Real Web. Real Web. How about yourselves? Real Web? Real Web? Okay. So why don't we show you some Real Web leads or Real Web solution websites and how these widgets go on their website. Now, what's exciting about this is the very moment that you put, I'll go and do it in this window over here. Hang on. We'll open up ICI World, and people can do this on the internet. Let me see, do I have anyone on the internet listening in right now? Actually, no. So, but we are recording the session, and we might even make it available to all your salespeople when we finish. But when you go to ICIWorld.com, I'm going to click on something up here called For Members. And I'm going to go down to the second item, which is something called widgets. And when we click on widgets, you're going to see that we have a little presentation, a YouTube presentation, which explains it. But down here, look for these widgets on websites created by other good website companies. In other words, we support all websites in the industry with these widgets. You can put them on all your websites if you have more than one website. And you'll notice that we have some sample websites here from different companies. And it just so happens that Real Web Solutions is the company that some of you are using in this office, so I'll use that for an example. And because we happen to be at a Royal LePage office, I'll use Royal LePage. And I'll click on that. And you'll see a website come up here in a moment. Here we go. And you'll see real estate listings in Durham. And let's go down the page just a little bit. And I don't see any listings at all, do you? Do you see any place where it says listings here? Do you?
No.
No, I don't either. So people, I'm letting you know, this is new to me, but here we are. Somebody comes to this website and they're looking for listings, and I personally don't see any spot to click on listings. Okay? I just don't see it. So it looks like they have changed the website that had these listings on it. I'm going to close that page. I'm going to go to the second example. Let's see what happens here. Rainy Saint-Aubin. Okay, now, do you see residential and a place to search?
Underneath this picture.
Over here underneath his picture. It's pretty, up front and center. We click on residential properties. Now, one of the buttons that is supplied by ICI World is this one right here called Residential Haves and Wants. Not on the other website, but on this one. So in other words, if somebody clicks on this and they go down the page, what they're going to see are listings come up. Here they are. Listings, and those are all the cities that people can click on. Look at that. I'm also going to show you another website. I'm just going to show you the listings, and we're going to click on those listings here in a moment. Here's another one here, Royal LePage. Let's click on this one. Do you see residential and commercial here?
Yes.
Let's click on residential. Again, if we go down and we click on residential haves and wants, let's click on that. And let's go down here and see the cities coming up. Now, if someone is interested in Brampton, chances are they're going to click on Brampton. And you'll see that literally within a second or two, which took a long time to build a service that can generate leads that fast. That's a whole other story. There's a lot gone into it. Over 1 year of development of one computer with 62,000 links that had to be changed. Just amazing what had to go on to get it so that it comes up this fast. There's a lot of programming going on at both real estate boards, services like ours, and sometimes people are so entrenched in software in the past that with these new services, it's quite a chore to change everything over, and sometimes they can't. It's just so difficult. But the key thing here, people, is let's say somebody is interested in this detached home for $639,000. They are going to try to click on that message number, and they can't do it. Is that good or bad?
Good.
That's good. Why?
Yeah, they look at that.
Then they have to call you. People get excited. Get excited. This is the new wave. This is 2014, the year right now. This information can be right on people's mobile phones. It can be on your website. People are getting on, and there's more and more information coming here every day. What does it take for you to have these listings? This is automatic. As people are posting information on ICI World, it's automatically being added to your own website. You don't have to do anything except promote your website to get people to go look at it. So when you hand out your business card, you want to promote the content that is on your website. You tell them you've got homes from, $4 million on down. Exclusive, not on real estate boards. Yes, you tell them that you've also got MLS listings, but all brokers have MLS listings, but not all brokers have exclusive listings. So in other words, you have the ability to network exclusive information, and then all that exclusive information from other brokers also becomes available for you to advertise, which means that not only do you have MLS listings, but you now have exclusive information in the marketplace. This is a story up to you to talk to your customers about. Talk to your prospects. Talk to your clients. How do you talk to them? Talk to them through social media, through your Facebook, through some of your social media. It helps promote interest in your website that you've got something that others don't have. And so they try to click on that and they can't do it. They end up calling you and saying, Rosemary, I'm interested in message number 285652. Can you help me? And you should say, I certainly can help you. I will have someone call you back, or I will get back to you with some more information and try to make an appointment if you'd like, or more details, and then if you like, we'll make an appointment to show it to you. So that is exclusive information on the residential side. Let's go down further on the residential side, and you're going to see assignments. You're going to see things like coming for sale. These are key words in the business. Look at all the properties coming for sale. Have you ever seen anything like this in the market before? It doesn't exist, does it? Isn't this exciting? Getting a jump on the marketplace before things are even sort of officially out there. They're unofficially out there. Now, how do you handle the coming for sale? Well, it could be that you're getting the information in a week or two. And is there anybody here that has a listing that might be coming for sale in another week or two or three or four? 2 people, 3 people? So if give me an example, not the address, but the kind of property.
Condo in Mississauga.
A condo in Mississauga for roughly how much?
Roughly about 345.
So you notice she says about, because until you have the listing signed, things could change. So you could say about $350,000. Is it near square one? So near square one, condo coming for sale, $350,000. That's it. Now, how would you handle a call like that? Here's what we suggest. We suggest you tell the people that, listen, I'm going to put you on a list. And when I have the listing signed, and we've done our due diligence, you will be one of the first people that we call, and we'll tell you about it. And if you're interested, we'll make an appointment at that time to show you the property. How does that sound? So now you start to assemble a list of buyers ahead of time. Isn't that exciting? Now, is it possible that that can also help you make sure that you get the listing? In other words, sometimes they say you're getting the listing and then the last minute something else happens, but you can tell them that you have a list of 3 or 4 people are ready to show the home once they sign the listing with you. How does that sound? Anybody have anything to add to that? So in other words, it's a way that you can be working properties, and we call this exclusive type information in the marketplace today. Other things like keywords, for instance, if you have people that are looking for waterfront property, is it possible they might like to click on your website and click on waterfront? Here's all the waterfront properties, for instance, here that are coming for sale, that are actually available. There's one coming, there's 2 coming for sale, and these other ones are waterfront, and if I type in waterfront, there they are, waterfront properties. Isn't that neat? So in other words, you're giving a selection. You're providing service to people that right now you don't have. And if you have this installed, these widgets, it's as simple as calling our office and say, please send me the widgets. They send you an email, and there's 6 widgets. And they send you the email, and you forward the email to your programmers. Can you do the forwarding of an email? Sure you can. You forward the email to your programs, and you follow up with your programmer to get it done. Now, some website people are requesting that you install it yourself, but they will help you do it. Other website companies automatically will do it for you. I think Real Web Leads, I think, will do it for you. I'm not sure.
You have the option of doing both.
You have the option of doing both. So there you go. So getting these on. Now, the very next person that visits your website and sees one of these listings, bingo, they can end up calling you. It can be this afternoon if it was installed. Now, let me show you something else, what's going to happen with you. Because you are all licensed in the province of Ontario, is it possible that somebody might call on a property that's not in your area? And let's say that they called on a property that was not in your area. I don't know whether it be Richmond Hill or it could be some other...
Sault Ste. Marie.
Sault Ste. Marie?
Yeah, that's what
Okay, or Sudbury or someplace. You never know. Let's click on that and see if there's anything here. There's a couple of 2 properties here only that are available up there in Sudbury.
my guy was looking for a $1.9 million property near Blackwood.
Are you...
And I want to know how I prefer that.
Okay, so what you're going to see is that property that you're looking for on the screen.
Oh, look at that.
It just so happens to be, he's pretty sharp. And what you're going to do is you're going to call that broker. And you're going to say, I have a lead for you. Is a 25% referral commission okay with you? You can ask for any percentage, but some people are using 25%. And you do your regular referrals that you do at your office. In other words, you have a form, I think, that's done in triplicate maybe with referring broker, receiving broker. You get them signed the way you would normally do a referral. And you do a referral. I would make up a referral file and start putting all your referrals in there that you can check once a month to see how they're making up. Call them up and find out, how did you make out with that person. They might say, oh, we're just entering into an offer right now. So you can get excited. You got a referral coming your way. So that's how to kind of work that.
Do you not have to have the permission of the seller for a referral? Sign? Do they not have to sign that? Would that be a difficult? Like if
We have a form here that, if you use the OREA form, yes. If you use our Royal LePage form, no.
Okay, so again, some of these questions, and that's a good question that you can also ask your broker. Bring up anything to do with referrals, agreements, those kinds of things. Talk to your broker of record, and they'll help you with different kinds of agreements, exclusive agreements and referral agreements, those kinds of things. We generally stay out of that, and we leave that in the field of the brokers. Now, you'll notice that she's residential, but we have a commercial button on her website with commercial widgets on her website. And one of the commercial widgets is this one, again for Ontario, because in any state or province, you're licensed in that state or province. And right away, what comes up, you'll see a list of Ontario wants, Ontario haves, and you'll also see that there's cities in Ontario, and you'll also see keyword searching. So if somebody happens to click on Brampton in your area, bingo, is it possible that somebody might see one of these businesses here, and next thing you know, they call you on something?
oh, that's mine.
There's yours right there. Yeah, those are the wanted, the optical stores, for instance.
Industrial condo for sale.
How often can you post a listing?
As many times as you wish, but we recommend when you put something on, you wait at least 30 days before updating it again. So we recommend you update your listings every 30 to 60 days and never let your listings go longer than 90 days old.
So when they come
Question.
out, like, I get the emails,
Yes?
and in the emails, it's sometimes the same listing is 2 or 3 times within that email, and then every day or for each email posting, morning and afternoon, it's there. So you go in and redo.
Yes, if you modify a listing within 30 days, it will not get sent out to the industry by email. I'll repeat, if you modify a listing within 30 days, it does not get sent out to the industry by email. But if you modify your listings after 30 days old, it will get sent out to the industry by email.
But the ones that come out every day, like
The ones that come out every day are
There's-
people putting in either a brand new listing,
okay,
or they may have modified the listing after 30 days.
like there's a couple on there that I know they're going back and like they come out every day.
Well, if you're looking at the database, they can modify them every day. It'll go back to the top, but they won't get emailed out. If they're modified within 30 days, they don't get emailed out. Okay?
What about those postings that say principals only?
Principals only?
Is that going to appear on those widgets as well?
Okay, generally speaking, at the bottom of every single posting that you put on ICI World, there is a question that says, will you allow your listings to be on other brokers' websites? And you either say yes or you say no. If you say yes, your information will appear on 1,000 other websites instantly. If you say no, it will just be on ICI World. If you want principals only, you should be answering no. Why would you have it on other brokers' websites if you only want principals?
Or if you don't want to cooperate?
If for some reason you don't want to cooperate. Now, we did a survey on why some of the brokers are saying principals only, and there's about 7 different reasons. Would you like me to share a couple of the reasons? Okay. One of the first ones is, and I hate to say it, but they don't trust other people anymore. And that's because they gave out information to other brokers, colleagues of yours at the Toronto Real Estate Board, and who promptly went right around behind their back and talked directly to the owner after pledging that they would not do that. So they got so fed up with giving out information to other brokers, they don't even want to deal with other brokers anymore. That's one reason. So I'm suggesting, in order to handle that, that it's up to you to develop good business relationships with other members. And this database of ICI World helps you do that. we suggest you build a database of other real estate people, and you could even have an integrity theoretically rating on it and know whether or not you think they'll go behind your back. Have they been honest with you or not? Can you work with them or not? And so you develop good business relationships with them. Now, if you're going to deal on a property for $5 million or $1 million property, is it worth getting together with them at least over a cup of coffee or over lunch to talk about it? If it's an exclusive listing, not on the Toronto Real Estate Board, you can make, $30,000 here. Shouldn't you at least maybe get together and develop a good business relationship if you're serious? And we have found that where salespeople have been serious and got together and you meet face to face and give them your pledge, you're not going to go behind their back, even those ones that said principals only may just deal with you after all. Secondly, sometimes the owners of these properties will not pay a commission. If they don't pay a commission or very little commission and there's nothing to split with you, sometimes they're putting principals only there. So what is the way to handle that? The way to handle that is to get paid by your buyer. And people, you should start getting used to doing that. If you've never done it before, get excited. You're about to make some money. Could you not tell a buyer that in this particular case, we have to have a buyer agreement with you, that you have to agree to pay me the commission? This property is $2,100,000 if we got the owner to pay the commission. But in this case, they're not doing it. The only way we can show it to you is if you end up buying it for $2 million, would you mind paying $100,000 to both the other agent and myself, if that's the case, in order to buy this particular property? Then we can show it to you. We'll show you the one property. Now, the bottom line is really, if the person doesn't want to buy the property for $2.1 million, they shouldn't even be buying it for $2 million. Do you agree? The difference of that should not really stand in the way. If it doesn't make money at the one, it shouldn't, they shouldn't even be buying it for $2 million. So you can talk to your buyer about that, and that you're working on their behalf to find out things about the property, and you would owe your allegiance to the buyer if you had a buyer-broker's agreement. And so there are some major advantages. And Gary's going to talk. Can you make sure you talk about your buyer-brokers course that you have, Gary? Sure. Later on. In fact, you can do it now. I'm going to introduce Gary. And Gary, if you stand closer to the laptop, because we are recording as well, he's going to talk to you a little bit about buyer-broker course that he has. Go ahead.
Okay, we have two programs actually going. How many of you have been in real estate for 40 years or more? Like Gary and I have. Actually, between the two of us, we have over 80 years worth of real estate experience. How about 20 years or more? 20, okay. 10, 5, 3. So some of you are newer in the business, and even though you might be experienced, you might be interested in sitting in on every Wednesday afternoon at 3:30 in the afternoon. We have what we call a Star 2 Coaching Club call. Now, these coaching club calls are for all realtors in the industry in Ontario, and they are free. You don't charge anything for them, and we do it as a sort of a webinar, although we use a very simple system. We email you the address to a web page, and when you click on that, instantly comes up a web page with the program for the day, and then we use conference calling on your telephone for the audio portion. So it's even simpler to get into than the webinar type format on your computer, and it doesn't need a lot of computing power. Any computer will open up the web page just like that. And then, of course, you just pick up your telephone. Now, we do recommend that you not use your cell phone for that call unless you have a USA package for long distance on your cell phone, because it could cost you a lot of money. Okay? But we recommend that you maybe do it from home or do it from the office where your long distance isn't really costing you anything these days. And so for an hour on a Wednesday afternoon, we have our coaching club calls. Now, the coaching club is called STAR Coaching Club because STAR stands for Success Through Alliances and Relationships. Success through alliances and relationships. And what we teach in that program is how to build a 100% referral and repeat-based business. How many of you would like to never knock on a door again, never have to make a cold call? Does that have any appeal to you at all? Okay, well, I want you to know that over the last about 18 years, I have gone from about 15 or 16% referral base in my own business to 85% referral base. Now, very few actually get up to 100%. And the reason would be that when you have things like an open house, for example, you're actually going to be dealing with people who aren't referred to you, right? And you're not going to turn down that business. So actually to take your business to 100% repeat and referral is very difficult. But to get it up to 85 or 90% is not all that difficult, and that's what our coaching program is all about. So if you're interested in that, just make sure I have your card before I leave here today, and I will send you the invitation to connect tomorrow, and you'll be able to get on to our call tomorrow afternoon if you'd like to do that. And then the other program that we have is we have a buyer mastery program. This is a course that I teach. I've taught it at Brampton Real Estate Board many times, at Mississauga Board. It's a buyer mastery course. We also have a seller mastery course. And these courses really still follow along that same concept that we want to build business primarily by referral. So we have a whole host of courses, and perhaps at the end of the day we'll have a little bit more time, Gary, we can talk about that. Or if you're interested in those, even for your office here, we could talk to Ron and arrange to bring those courses even right into your own office here if you wanted to do that. So, okay.
Thank you very much. Let's move back. Okay, so now we're talking about opportunities. One second, where did I put this? Hang on. Okay, and this is where we were originally talking about widgets having property information that is on your website. If you don't have the information, there's literally no chance to trigger calls on any of these thousands of listings, but the moment you put it on, the next person that arrives at your website can do it. Now, websites. Let's talk about websites. One thing, I'm still using that term billboards, but Gary uses the term for sales signs, and I think they're both right, actually. I know you lean one way and I'm leaning the other, and we can agree to disagree, and they're both positive responses in either event. I have a question for each and every one of you. When you're introducing a new product to the city of Toronto, is it better to have 1 billboard or 5 billboards? Same is true for websites. You can have more than 1 website, particularly if you call them investments. In other words, if each website could trigger a lead, extra lead, regularly, and they're both making you money, why not? If they can work on their own, so there's very little upkeep. I'm talking 5 to 10 minutes of upkeep once a month. That's it. Minimum login, once a month, 5 to 10 minutes. And thirdly, we link the 2 websites together, and you only need 1 name on your business card, because when they go to that one website, they can see the link to the other website, click on it, and end up seeing something that maybe is not available on the other website. Did I say ever get rid of your other websites here today? No, I suggest you keep all of your websites, and that you think of them in terms of investment, like you put money in the bank, or you're investing in real estate, you're investing in a website to make you money. That's why I call these things an investment, not a cost. Now, if the websites are not generating leads at all, and you're not making money from it, maybe you shouldn't even have a website in the first place. Do you agree? Okay, so it's incumbent upon you to do something, and that is to promote your website. You can have a car, but if you don't drive it, you're still not going anyplace. You still got to promote your website, and you can promote it with as simple as starting with your business card. By having your website on your business card and start to hand it out, but tell people what is on your website. And we're going to come to that here in a moment. And you know, maybe this is where we should have the content and even do the websites a little bit later, sort of like maybe what you had. Okay, I'm learning. All right, let's demonstrate what I'm getting at with the content too. and I'll do that right now because I'm going to stick to this. All right, I'm just going to pull up some websites here of different members, and you'll see a website. This is a Royal LePage website. It's a Royal LePage agent, and it's just a straightforward website. She's got little qualifications here. She's got a little financial calculator and stuff like that. Now, what really makes the money is what I call the spark plugs. Spark plugs. If you have a car right there and you don't have spark plugs in it or they're not working, that car is not going anywhere. But if you have spark plugs, I'm suggesting to you that these are the spark plugs for a website. The content. The content is king. It's the listings that you have on your website. So if somebody clicks on your website and they happen to see these homes come up on your website, and in this case, she's got them mixed with commercial because that's the way she wants it. But if somebody happens to see this listing and clicks on it, up comes a beautiful slideshow presentation of this home. I call this the ultimate in marketing on the internet. When you can display interior color photos of these homes, people just love this. So you're going to have thousands of listings from other brokers who have agreed to allow their listings to be on your website. Now, you're going to notice that this one was MLS. This one was MLS. These ones here are exclusive. I'm going to use some other listings here. I'm going to go to the GTA homes and condos. Let me go here, because in the other one she included the commercial for a reason. You'll notice that this one in Lawrence Park is not MLS. It's exclusive. This is MLS. Let's go down further. MLS, exclusive. Now, every one of you pretty well has MLS on your websites now. Is that a fair statement? Mm-hmm. But what you don't have are these exclusive ones here. You don't have those. Now, where did these come from? Well, I'm going to go to the very bottom of this website, and you're going to see that it's from a company called Point 2. This company is a company that is located in Saskatchewan, Saskatchewan, and they've helped create over 300,000 real estate websites for professionals such as yourself. ICI World has become an official distributor of these websites. ICI World is an official educator of these websites, and ICI World is a first line of support. We actually designed the website for you. It's a 90-minute, one-time setup, and we do it with you in your home office, in your business office, over the internet. And you actually pick out the design. You pick out the pictures. You can even take a photograph with your own camera and use it at the very top of your website. You can make your own design, and it's really becomes your personal distinction of your website and the kind of business that you do. Some brokers say, well, listen, I do residential and commercial. Well, maybe you can combine and put two pictures up at the top if you want. Others will do a landscape of the Toronto skyline. Or if you're in Miami or wherever you are in the world, this works for every single area in the world, people, where you can have homes and properties from other brokers who have agreed to allow them to be on your website.
Could I suggest something?
Yes?
Go to homes-mississauga.com and just take a look at something that Gary and I worked on yesterday just as a concept. This was something a little bit different. All
right, let me open up a page here. Let's go to homes-mississauga.com.
Just take a look at it.
Okay. Well, isn't that beautiful?
Now that's a picture that
this was just done yesterday.
I took that picture while I was out sailing last summer, racing. So consequently, that's my own picture. So I own that picture. Nobody else can charge me for it. So a little different concept, just to say that here's something we're just trying as a concept that is not agent-centric. Mm-hmm. When you take a look at this, you have a hard time finding my name on this site. But what it does say is thousands of properties not on MLS. Okay, so a whole different approach to trying something with a website. I thought you might like the picture, Gary.
I love it. Absolutely love it. So what we did is we go in here and we'll right-click on a picture and we'll go down to the word properties, and you'll notice that we have a pixel size here. Now this pixel size will not work on your website unless you have this exact design. So what we work with you is going through these designs, picking out different designs, something you might like, and then working with you to try to get one of your photos to fit what we call the aspect ratio. I know this is a little complicated, but let me ask you all a question. If you have trouble with the electronic ignition of your car, who do you take your car to get it fixed?
Okay.
A mechanic. So think of us as a doctor, as a mechanic of the internet, and we help you steer through all of this to make sure that it gets done for you, so you can end up with a nice picture. It's a flavor of what it is that you do, and that's a great picture, just a great shot that you took personally with your own camera and got it to fill right in there. Now down towards the bottom of the page, this makes it RICO compliant, where Gary identifies himself as a broker, and in Ontario I have to put the word brokerage behind the company name. You've got your telephone numbers and everything is there. Now if we go back up here, you'll notice he also has residential and commercial. So if somebody highlights residential, and here's what's interesting, we also have a FSBOs button. Watch this. Is it possible somebody might click on FSBOs, and when they do, up comes some of these listings, and if someone clicks on, well, in fact, we could even go right to Brampton for that matter. If somebody clicks on one of these are listings that have been placed by the public. Is it possible for you to get a call off of one of these pieces of information? That could trigger a lead for you. That can help you make thousands of dollars just because of having this on your website. That's one of the FSBO links. It's one of the widgets that we recommend that you place on your website. You have this other one, Ontario Commercial. Watch this. If people know that these are the wants, if people know that you have buyers of apartment buildings, look at all the buyers of apartment buildings that you will have on your website. In this case, there's 180 of them. This, I suggest, demonstrates to your clients how well connected you are into the marketplace of buyers. Isn't that fantastic? So you show your buyers, you print this out, and you will get listings over other brokers because you're able to show them how you're plugged into these buyers. So those are the kind of things that are available that are being rolled out to the industry right now, and that's a very nice looking website that you have there as well. Okay, let's move on. Just to give you an idea, there's just samples of some other websites. This is Peter in Montreal. We have listings for Montreal. I could click on and take up time doing this. We also have made a special search matrix for Royal LePage, and you'll notice if I click on members, these are all Royal LePage members who are members on ICI World. You can see them all there on the screen. Now what's unique about this particular document that we've made on the screen, if I click on the word price right now, you'll see all of these little buttons change to the word price. And if I was to click on buy price, I'm going to go up to the top. These are all Royal LePage agent placed haves and wants. Isn't that interesting? All in one page. And I'm going to be suggesting that Royal LePage consider adopting this particular page and put it on their main website, because if somebody visits that and they click on, I don't care, any one of these, bingo, they go down here. This is a Royal LePage agent and can do nothing but help everybody make money. So that's sort of a presentation for Royal LePage that we haven't made to the powers to be yet, and we are getting to it. Okay, other websites, you'll see samples, various degrees of development by other brokers in the industry, and you'll see them all up here. Bruce Cook, he himself has sold over a $4.5 million apartment building himself. Mary Coughlin, residential, you'll see all her widgets down here. By the way, we also install the MLS widget on your website if you get one of the websites from us as well. The websites, by the way, are $199 per year. They're free for 1 month, and then $199 per year. Okay, and so let's move on right out of here. In fact, I can actually move right back to the PowerPoint presentation and continue on. And so finishing that, the point that we're making is that content is king. It's the content that triggers calls. If you have extra content on your website, you have a chance to trigger extra calls. What's the websites are like for sale signs, and it's a difference of having, you know, just a few listings on your website or having thousands of listings on your website. It makes a difference. You can have more than one website and you can link them together. And who will they call? Where do you have a better chance of triggering calls? If you have more listings, obviously. And who will they call? If you let people know that you've got exclusive listings, that's something that other brokers don't have. You have a better chance they'll want to see your listing. Does anybody here work with new homes at all? You give one of these business cards to a builder and tell them you got 700 pieces of development land. I'll tell you, they'll be looking, and you might get the listings back for sale. That's how I actually got started in real estate 40 years ago. Link your websites together. That's easy to do. The three things that you will do, some people say, oh, I can't have the time to sit in front of a computer all day long. Guess what? This is called working smarter, not harder. You don't do that. Once your website is built, your real obligation to optimize your own opportunities is to simply log into the website a minimum of once a month, and there is a little to-do list there. That's all. And the to-do list has other brokers who are joining the service who are agreeing to allow their listings to be on your website. All you have to do is approve them. Just approve them. Bingo. All those listings go on your website. You got more opportunities to make money, and you just have to do that a minimum of once a month.
And Gary, just an important point here, I think, is that when you do that, and when that listing triggers a call from someone who's looking at your website, who's the call go to? The other broker or to you? That's important, isn't it? This is one of the problems when you're advertising MLS listings. If you advertise an MLS listing and the people drive past the house because they've got the address, who gets the call? And does that agent then send you a referral fee because they first saw their listing on your website? Not a hope, right? So very important that on our websites, the call comes to you.
The second thing you'll do is to add and search listings from time to time, but that's what you normally do. But you're going to add and search the exclusive listings. You're going to add your exclusive opportunities. Don't miss out on doing that, or you're missing opportunities to make money for the rest of your life. Most of the tools do work on autopilot. The one thing we do recommend, however, is that you learn how to promote your website with a passion. And the reason is, one lead makes you a lot of money. And so we have a special program that we run every single month because it's important, how to promote your website. This month it's on February 21st from 11 to 12:30, and it's conducted over the internet. We open it up to all our members only to learn how to do that. It gives you a competitive edge in the environment to learn how to promote your website. There are specific things you can be doing step by step by step. This stuff is really like climbing a mountain, but if you go step by step to the ICI World system of just following what we're suggesting, it all starts to work automatically for you. It'll be like riding a bicycle. It'll be the same over and over. We do provide one-on-one personal training. We have some people that did not know how to click on a mouse. We've had other people that did not know where the on-off switch was. They couldn't find it on the front of a computer because it was all flush up against the computer. So there are issues of people that are learning how to do computers, and we take a personal enjoyment of helping them get off the ground and doing these things and inspiring them to kind of do deals. For the advanced people, there are some many advanced things to do on the how to promote your website and things like that as well. We also have a series of training videos which you go in. Videos number 2 to 7. People should get through those as soon as they can when they get online. It teaches you how to post your haves and wants in a successful manner. And you should read the success stories and get inspired. How do you know these things work? Read the success stories, get inspired, and take it seriously. We've had some members in the past who simply have gotten busy doing other things and haven't treated it seriously. And if they had to just post it, one haver could have got one lead and went off and showed a property and made $50,000. People are missing opportunities to make money. In that case, we suggest and will help you to optimize your opportunities. And of course, there's networking with other members. You will meet other people. If you call somebody on one property, if it doesn't suit them, you can talk to people about other properties that are not on the service. And there's a lot of networking going on here, which is the bottom line in our business. So you want to add residential information and commercial information to your website. On the commercial stuff, you will be doing referrals. If somebody calls you on $1 million building someplace, you just end up doing a referral. So referrals to a specialist in an area, and you earn a referral fee for doing that. It's the same thing as a general practitioner doctor. If you need something done for your ear, nose, or throat, he refers you out to somebody to do that. The benefits of the websites, we've covered that. One of the benefits that is very important, besides the exclusive listings, is that it automatically sends out new listings that match the needs and wants of your buyers. Automatically, it stands at attention, checking every new listing coming in. And if somebody's looking for a condo in Meadowville, bingo, this website will automatically send it to them. Now, you and I know that TREB can do that as well with MLS, but TREB cannot do it with the exclusive listings that are on this service. All you have to do is have one property that comes exclusively to one of your buyers, and you go show it and make some money. You have a jump in the marketplace when you do this. This is taking advantage of what's going on in the marketplace for technology, and realtors with technology are the ones that succeed. We help you promote the website in many different ways through social media links. You should have them all on these websites. We show you how to get them all on. And there's actually 40 different ways to promote your website in addition to search engine optimization. We've attended World Search Engine Conventions. We share the secrets that we've learned in these World Search Engine Conventions, and we share them with you in these training sessions once a month. Leads generate referrals. The only reasons why you might not be doing as many referrals now as you would like to is simply because you don't get the leads. But if you've got all these extra listings on your website, you will get the leads. Now, I have a question for you. If you have all of these listings on your website like we're suggesting and you're not getting the leads, what could be the problem? Promoting the website. Because it's inevitable. In other words, what we're showing you today for your investment, if you were to do it today, when you have these extra listings on your website in a way that you get the calls, it's inevitable that you get the calls. It's absolutely inevitable. If somebody sees something, they're going to try to click on it, and they can't do it. They have to call you. That is a way of measuring whether your website's getting traffic. If you're not getting calls, you're not getting the traffic. And so getting traffic to your website should become uppermost in your mind, and that's why how to promote your website is a very important session. In fact, we have this much available for you in recorded videos of past sessions that you can start to research and learn how to do that. That's really where you should be spending a lot of your time, is researching on how to promote your website. And of course, all of the basic social media we suggest that you take advantage of. By the way, when you come to our site, make sure you click on the Twitter and get all plugged into all of these things, because we're sending out things from time to time on a weekly basis, and you have a choice to read it and learn from it as well, because there's a lot of tips and tricks and ideas for all of this stuff. Other places that you can promote your website, there they are there, email, and every email that you send out, make sure you have a signature file with your website. And in your advertising in newspapers and all these kinds of things, let them know that you have thousands of homes, exclusive homes and properties on your website. Let them know that. And then they're more likely to say, oh, geez, maybe I should check it out, because they don't want to miss something. Having photos on your website, very important, and you saw how you can have them with these websites. And do you want to speak to this, Gary?
Well, sure. The thing simply is this way. So we all know that pictures grab people's eyes and it makes them want what they can see. But how many of you have looked at the pictures on an MLS listing and decided because of what you saw in the pictures, you weren't going to show that house. Are you with me? In other words, it's possible that unless the pictures are really terrific pictures, they can actually be a drawback. Is that fair?
If there's no picture, there's no bother.
That's right. And if you see a listing, in fact, that doesn't have pictures, it's got a picture of the front of the house, but the agent has not given you pictures of the inside of the house, what do you suspect automatically?
Handyman.
This may be a house where they really didn't want to show you what the house looked like. Is that fair? Okay. But that's an MLS listing. What if you've got an exclusive situation such as we've been describing to you? Here's $1 million house, Brampton, overlooking lake, all right, to be listed in 6 weeks. But you can register now to see it when it comes out in 6 weeks. Now, are they going to get a picture of that at all? No. Do they want to see it?
Yeah.
Yes. See, one of the interesting things about human nature is we want what we can't have. Yes? And so if we don't put a picture out, but we give a bare amount of information, they say, I want it, I want it, I want it. It's normal human nature to want what we can't have. So some of you are probably looking at some of this information on ICI World websites that pulls right into your website and say, but all it's got is just a line of information with no picture.
Jesus.
But that doesn't stop people from wanting the information, does it?
Yeah.
You see, the interesting thing is that a lack of pictures also creates a phone call.
Thank you. Referrals. Why are referrals good? They're 5 minutes to do and they can make you money. And you should all be doing referrals. All of you. The calls. Another thing is that sometimes your website has the addresses of listings. If people can see the address, is it possible they might drive by the property first before calling you? And if they drive by the property and see the for sale sign on the property, is it possible they might call that other broker first? And if that other broker ends up doing a deal, does that other broker call you back and say thank you? No. Okay, so having making it so that the people have to call you is a way to drive traffic for you personally to help you do business. So if you have not much inventory on your website, to all intents and purposes, you're out of business. Some people have 0 listings on a real estate board. You're almost out of business, but you are instantly in business with having a website with thousands of listings on it with ICI World. We have a pledge here that no member go longer than 90 days without either generating a lead, doing business of some way, shape, or form. Otherwise, you should end up calling us. And we find that we've been able to identify right away items that you could be doing to maximize your own opportunities to do business. Sometimes we find something wrong with the website and we fix it and bingo, right away it's working properly. So as long as you give us a chance to kind of help you, if you're not generating leads every 90-day period, give us a call. And usually it's some people that have either ignored it or they've been unable to attend to things or put any listings on, or their website's not working, or the widgets are not even on their website. You know, you've got to get these things working. At least get them in place so that they can work for you. And we will help you do that. We will work with your website designers to get all of this working. And our commitment is, if it takes you anything longer than 5 minutes to figure out what to do, give us a call. Just call us. We have 3 people in the office right now that are helping people. We're using GoToWebinar software, other kinds of software, so we can help you one-on-one with your computer to get you going. The nice thing is, once you're going, the information works 24 hours a day for you, 7 days a week, and you can be off doing other things, and it can be triggering leads for you. Now, in exchange, in consideration of us doing this seminar at no charge, we talked to Ron about doing a little commercial in the seminar, and I'm going to do that little commercial right now, if I may. Is that okay with all of you? On the left-hand side, you'll see that there is a document that says application special, and there's another one that says evaluation. If you could pull those both out, it'll say evaluation and seminar special. So you're going to have these two documents, if you could pull them out. Before you leave, if you don't mind, if you could fill in the evaluation before you leave. That's this one here. It's just, we appreciate your comments on the things that you do here today. We're always trying to do a good job, and we can even do better when we get your comments back from you. And this is your service. It helps you make money. So by filling in your comments, it really does help us. But on the application, how much does it say that it is to join ICI World down at the bottom? $319. $319 is the fee for ICI World, and that's the renewal fee as well. However, when we do a seminar like this, we offer a little special, and you'll see that the special at the bottom says $240. Do you see special $240 at the bottom? Mm-hmm. And so the special at the bottom is $240 plus HST, in this case, where we are. And the HST, of course, you get back. The rest is tax deductible. And then the first person that joins, we give a 3-month bonus to. If someone's interested in joining, as a 3-month bonus. So you would actually get 15 months service for the first person that joins. Now, we do have some people here that are already members. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Well, I'm renewing.
Okay, you're renewing, so that's number one.
I just did mine a couple of weeks ago.
You just did you? Okay. And how about yourselves?
I did mine in December.
In December? And yourself? Okay, you're not involved yet? Okay. You're interested?
I'll take a 3-month bonus.
Okay, so you're getting 3-month bonus. The nice thing about that is that if someone else joins, I'll actually give 4 months and also give you 4 months as well. So if somebody else is interested in joining, you're going to get 16 months service. Are you at all interested?
Yes.
Okay, what you can do is fill in one of these. If you fill it in today and call us back within a week or two, we can get the special for you. But you just fill in one of these. But you think you're able to do it in a week or two?
Yeah.
If you're able to do that in a week or two, we'll actually give the 4 months to both of you. All right. Is there anyone else interested?
What do I get for?
I'm going to actually backdate it for all of you to get it, yourself included. Okay? So what you do is you call our office, and you'll actually get that special because you did it just recently.
Yeah.
So it's a total of how many months?
Well, right now it's going to be actually 16 months service for everyone. Okay? But you're already a member, right? You're just renewing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how about yourself? You're not interested at this time? Okay. And how about yourself?
Within the next 30 days.
Okay. Here's what you do. You fill in one of these, and you put in within 30 days, put that on there, and we'll hold that special for you. Okay? And so that fills it out for today. And what you do is you simply staple your business card to this sheet of paper, and we have a stapler for you, and you just put your credit card number on there, and you're in business with us. Hang on 1 second here. And there's a stapler if you need it. Okay. The website, by the way, is not included. It's free for 30 days. The website is free for 30 days. It's separate. After 30 days, it's $199 per year. Separately. The hosting is separate. The design of it is included. We'll actually design it for you and with you and get it up and running and help you link it with your other websites if you already have a website. For the people that already have websites, the first thing you do even before the other website, get the widgets working on your other website. Let's do that first. Get the widgets working, and then we'll show you the other website, and then you can decide later if you want to try it out for 30 days and end up linking it with your other website. But you might want to get through the how to promote your websites, which comes up once a month. The next one is February 21st from 11 to 12:30. And then your feedback I also would appreciate there on this evaluation sheet.
Can we pay by check, or is it only?
That's fine. Yep. Okay.
We'd even take cash if you
Check, cash, credit cards, any way you wish. We're pretty well have it all available. Keep in mind, we're all plugged into the internet, so all available. And then go ahead.
Did I misunderstand you? Do we have to call your office to get this
for the widget?
16 month? No, the 16 months special.
Yeah, just put on there 16 months,
Put it on, instead of
right
1
on-
year in
Yeah,
brackets,
that's
16
correct.
months.
Put it 16 months right there, and you can take a photocopy of that. I'll actually sign it, say paid, and I'll mark on there paid for you, and then you'll get it. And you can take a photocopy of that. But each person in the office, the other ones that just renewed recently, you can just call our office and book a little appointment with me to update your membership. And you can always book a 30-minute appointment with the office. They have our calendar. You make an appointment. It's like a doctor's office, people, every 30 minutes. If you're 10 minutes late, you only got 20 minutes left because we're right on the clock that's on the computer. And we will give you that full 30 minutes. And usually we can get things done within 30 minutes, lay it out, what you have to do, follow up what you've done, check your links, look at your website, make recommendations, get you booked in for how to promote your website, and that's it. And then we'll help you put your own haves or wants on. So if you're having a little difficulty there or you're not sure, we can actually help you right online, putting your haves and wants right in. And I think you just updated your haves and wants just 3 or 4 days ago. And right away you were getting calls right off the bat. So that's how quick things actually work. Here's your stapler. There you go. Make it to iciworld.net Inc. is what you can make out the check to. Now, in finishing here, thank you so much. We've actually covered coaching clinics, and when you're free to do, every Wednesday at 3:30, there's a coaching clinic that's free, and Gary puts that on. It's using freeconferencecalls.com. How much of this you want to go through right now, Gary?
We'll take a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Sure.
We're going to cover something else now in addition to this service that we're offering, and that's further coaching for every one of you. Go ahead.
One of the things that I've learned over the last 20 years, really, and I really have been, of course, as I said, I've been in business in real estate since 1973, but I started taking some coaching myself. Some of you might know Joe Stump and the by referral only people, and I'm a stumper. I really believe in that approach to selling real estate. That is to say, building your business from your warm contacts. And one of the things that I learned from Joe is to divide the way I was thinking about my business into 3 areas of business. We really, in our business, have what we would call the before segment of our business, which is where we build our connections. It's our lead generation portion of our business, if you will. And then secondarily, we have the portion of our business where we're working actively with buyers and with sellers, and we would call that our during business. And then we have the after business, which is where we keep track of all of the people that we put into our database. So you might think of the after side of the business as being database management focused. If we could have the next slide, Gary, please. And one of the things that you could perhaps start to appreciate during Gary's presentation here today is that using ICI World tools really applies to all 3 areas of your business. You can see, first of all, that it will help you to generate business in your before segment of your business. New leads that will come in because you've got over 32,000 properties to attract interest on your website, as opposed to simply having 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of your own listings. Obviously, 32,000 times as many opportunities to have people want to be interested in what's on your website has got to generate more calls than having only 3 or 4 or 5 of your own listings, right? Does that make sense? And then you can see that in the during portion, when you're working actively, let's say with buyers, or you're going to make a listing presentation, to be able to say to your sellers, look, I've been able to generate 5 active buyer interest leads that I will put into play immediately as I take your listing, because I've actually been advertising the fact that your house would become available in 5 weeks, for the last 5 weeks. So I've already been actively working on your listing. Does that make sense? Is that going to help you to get the listing? Of course it is. And when you're working with buyers, you can now offer them access to not only the MLS listings in your area, but all of the exclusive listings that you might not even have known were out there. But looking at the listings on Gary's system today, you can see that they're there. In fact, there are just thousands of exclusive and listings that are posted, not real listings, but they're postings that are out there all the time that most of us never think about because we work from the MLS listing system exclusively, right? Which I have done for virtually most of the 40 years that I've been in the business. Okay? So I know about this. And then the after section. What would happen if just once a month you made up an email and you sent it out to all of the people in your database, and one month you said, did you know that although I specialize in residential real estate, I have industrial, commercial, and investment properties in my website, and send them a link to 2 or 3 or 4 of those. Do you think that that would keep their interest in you as a realtor and maintain that connection you worked so hard to work on? Okay? So you can see that ICI World helps you in your before, your during, and your after segments of your business. Next slide, please. Now, we're going to drive prospects to your website by offering information that is not available anywhere else. That's how it applies to before. During, Gary? And during, you're going to be able to offer MLS and exclusive and non-listed properties to buyers, as we've said, and it's a powerful listing tool as well. Next slide. And in the after, you're going to generate referrals from all of your people. For example, all of your clients live in a house of some kind or other, yes? But at least half of them also have a job, right? That's assuming even only one side of your client relationship in your home has a job, right? Father may not be working, but mother's supporting the family, or vice versa, okay? But they're working somewhere. What happens if maybe someone's a warehouseman and they go to a meeting and the boss in their company says, you know, folks, we're going to be hopefully moving to something larger because we're just getting crowded out here. We really need more space. And that person says, whoa, just last week I got a note from Dwayne saying that on his website he's got exclusively listed industrial space that maybe my boss wouldn't know about. So that night he calls Dwayne and says, Dwayne, you need to get a hold of my boss. He's looking for more space. Are you with me? Do you see how referrals can happen even in areas of the business that you don't specialize in? Now, all Dwayne has to do is call one of the ICI specialists, even right here in your own office, have them contact the boss and take a referral, right? You see how easily that can happen for you? And then we have the ICI Residential World Academy. And so we have a whole series of Real Estate 101 courses, including a boot camp. That's a 7-session boot camp for new agents, if you're interested, and all of the other things that are on the slide. Okay? And then we have the Star Coaching Club, which we've already talked about. And if you're interested in that, just make sure that I have your card, and write on your card STAR, right? Or just put a star on there, and I'll know what it means. And then in the next 24 hours, I'll add you to our mailing list so that you'll be on the invitation list to join in tomorrow's call and every week thereafter. Okay? So that's basically it. Okay? So how many of you found that today's session was worthwhile taking time to come to?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's great. You learned a few things today.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, that's great.
Okay, that finishes our segment. I'm going to actually stop recording now, and people are welcome to call the office at 416-214-4875 or 416-840-6227. And that's it for today.